Alright, so fresh off being absolutely fuming after the last card, we're back again for UFC 289. Now this card has copped a lot of flack in the build-up for being poorly stacked, and while I agree the lineup could be better, there is so much value to be had in this one, and I'm looking forward to making the money that got stolen from me on the last card. Still not over it. As always, I want to make this snappy, so like and subscribe, join the debate on Twitter, let's get fucking paid. Alright, we know the deal. I don't care about this one. Belbita lost to Demopoulos, and she is a fat trash bag. For that reason, I'm taking Maria Oliveira. Her hand speed is fine, and while her striking is mid, this will be enough to get it done here, I think. Let's not waste any more time on this turd. Oliveira to win. Alright, I'm going to go with Dvorak, but I do have my reservations. For me, the main reason here is the trusty old competition issue. Dvorak does have a lot of losses recently, but they are against a juicing Cape and Nicolau, who despite getting caught against Royval is elite in my opinion. Erceg, as I'm choosing to pronounce his name, has too many unknowns, and I'll be avoiding betting this one due to that. He could be a killer, we just don't know. I liked Bilder's last performance against Young. He proved he's durable and can hit hard, and Carl Nelson is a weedy little prick with a suspect chin. Bilder has shown a greater level of output and an ability to put pressure on, and I think it's a terrible matchup for Nelson here, against a dude that's riding a wave right now. Nelson's only chance, in my opinion, is to go with a takedown game, and I think Bilder's going to be too strong to fall into that. I reckon Bilder gets a KO, probably in the second round. Alright, this is the first tricky one of the card, and another one I'm going to avoid. Zahabi's coming off wins against two fighters that pretty much suck in Tercios and Draco Rodriguez. It's probably a little bit harsh on the latter, and he didn't look great in the two prior to that. Aori is pretty hit and miss also, and you just don't know what guy you're going to get in there. He does have a better output, but Zahabi will have a better gas tank. So I feel based on that, I might just actually edge Aori to get a close decision, but I'd stay away from this one. Zahabi does have home field advantage. Alright, in my opinion, Miranda Maverick has had some pretty bad luck. She got badly robbed against Barber and at least made it competitive with Blanchfield, who has looked absolutely excellent since that fight. She's young and they clearly want to build her, so I think they're offering her a layup here against Jasudavicius, who, while she's pretty durable, is not a very good fighter. I think Maverick will have enough on the feet to set up takedowns and grind out a dominant win on the ground. I've got a UD in this one, but who really cares? Alright, this is another one I'm really not sure about. Chris Curtis seems to be repelling judges here and has been on the side of some questionable decision losses. I think Imavov has been fraud checked a little in his last few, but at least he can show he can go 5. Despite getting dominated by Strickland jumping off the couch. I'm going to edge Imavov here by being more active while Curtis patiently tries to set things up. If he does go in blazing to eliminate the judges, I can see him catching Imavov though and maybe stealing a round or two by having more impactful moments. But I do see this going to a decision, and I think Imavov is going to stay on the feet long enough to edge it. This is one of the locks of the card for me. I absolutely love Barriault. They call him the power bar, and I simply think his non-stop pressure and cardio here is going to be too much for an aging Anders, who I do have a lot of love for, to be fair. I'm playing this because I think the odds are juicy. I think Andre lays on the pressure and wears Anders down, who is looking far more gun-shy these days and has taken one too many stompings. I think this is going to be a fun and a really nice parlay fluffer. Power bar to win by lopsided decision. Now, we all know how much I love Nate the Train. Who doesn't? I think Ige is going to smash him though, as painful as that is to say. Ige has great takedown defense, and I think Nate is far too hittable, and you can't play that game with a one-punch hitter-quitter like 50k. Ige's losses have come against excellent contenders, where he just lacked a little overall skill to get him over the line in those ones. And while the Train is game as fuck, I think he's going to get hurt here. I'm going to take Ige by TKO, possibly in the second, or maybe even late in the first, in what I'm sure is going to be another banger while it lasts. Ige's money for me here, and at these odds, you just have to play it. Okay, so this one's being set up for Malott, who on any other card would be nowhere near placed this high up. On paper, Fugitt looks like he has a better output and takedown threat, and I usually let this sway me in certain close fights, but Malott will carry far too much power for Fugitt in this one. And while the odds don't really make it a worthy play for me, I wouldn't dissuade anyone from adding him as another parlay fluffer. The UFC want a Canadian win high up the card to get fever pitch levels, and this is being set up to be just that. Fugitt has lost to heavy hitters, and I think he's going to get his clock cleaned in this one. I'm going to take Malott by KO. So this one is the real main event for me. I don't mean to sound like an absolute cunt here, as a man who loves olives, but in order to spare us another Gaethje-Poirier title fight where they get fed to Islam, we need to see Dariush win, and to do so convincingly. He deserves his shot. Olives has power in his hands, and we all know how dangerous on the ground he is. But I think Dariush has the composure and all-round game to prey on Charles's weaknesses. Now, Olives is susceptible to be hit, and is known to kind of sink to the ground and invite men into the guard to regroup and then go again. But I don't think this game will work against Barriault, who is brutal on the ground and experienced enough to not get caught in a submission. I would not mind being wrong on this one, but I think the division and the community need Barriault to get this done, and I think he's too close to that title now to fumble. If Charles wins, he's just going to get passed over for the other two turds I mentioned earlier, and I just can't stomach that thought. I think Barriault wins this via a dominant decision. Alright, so on to nobody's main event. I was tempted to pick Aldana in this one, and the prospect of an upset here is not completely ridiculous. She does have power in her hands at this weight class, and is very competent on the ground. She just doesn't have the experience in 5-round fights to trouble Amanda, I feel, who after tasting defeat against the most insufferable cunt on the roster a few fights ago, I'm not going to speak her name, will come into this with her head in the game, and while Aldana will have a good round or two in her, I think ultimately she's going to succumb to a woman that has vast 5-round experience that will grind her down to a dominant, punishing decision. Alright, so I come in with a record of 136 and 63, which has me holding a 68% win ratio. I've been stuck on that for a while now. Anyway, looking forward to this card. I'm going to react to it as soon as it happens on Saturday, as always. Thanks to everyone who's been upping the view count and throwing the odd comment in every now and then. It's much appreciated. Have a great week. Catch me for a conversation on Twitter. And yeah, I'll see you all on Saturday night.